biohacking, performance, mastery, mindset, holistic health. This is a show about getting better every single day. I'm on a mission, guys, to help over 1 million people get healthy and lose weight. Why? Because when you lose weight and get healthy, you have higher self-esteem. You have more self-confidence. And that person goes out and crushes their goals and starts living the highest version of themselves, and then they have way more impact on the world. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Let's go. I am super excited. If you're watching live right now, you can check out my new swag, my new t-shirt, and I got some hats here too as well. If you can see, it says Abundant AF. If you like that, I'm all about abundance. I'm all about joy. I'm all about bringing that gratitude any way I can, and I like to floss it on a t-shirt as well. So if you guys are interested, if you want to get those t-shirts that I just created, go to www.joelevancoaching.com, I think /store. If you check out the store, you can get some of this swag, anything that's, I make a lot of positive kind of clothing. So go check that out. Secondly, I want to thank some people out there. I saw you guys, I saw an increase in reviews on the podcast. So if you go check out the podcast, the Hacked Life podcast, my man R. Bonilla left an amazing review. And I appreciate that because every review that I get on a monthly basis, I'm going to be tallying them up and I'm going to be donating. For this cause specifically, I've partnered up with B1G1, which is an amazing resources for people like myself to give back to other causes. And one of the causes I'm giving back is into Nicaragua, and they in the specific region where we're at, I think only 54% of that region has like running water. So every positive podcast review goes a long way, and I'm donating to that cause right now, and I'm sure it'll change in the future, but that's something I'm really passionate about. So please leave a 5-star review on iTunes. That is the best way you can help me and the show get discovered. And then also in a roundabout way, we're giving back, which I'm excited about. So let's jump into it. Today, I want to talk about, last week I talked about how to create a vision for yourself and why that's so important. And then why people usually don't do it, right? And how they're actually doing it wrong. Well, today I want to talk about these 7 pitfalls that are probably getting in the way from you becoming your future self. And people make a variation of these 7, and it's causing them to not be successful. They're not able to reach the highest version of who they want to be, their future self. So I'm going to give you those 7. We're going to talk about this. Okay. So the number one thing, the first thing on the list of 7 is people don't have hope. And without no hope, you can't actually be your future self. Without hope, I mean, how can you get over a disease? How can you get over a sickness? How can you get over a weight loss goal or dream or anything that you have if you don't have hope? Where there's no faith, there is no cure. I love that. Where there's no faith, there's no cure. So just remember that. Most people, you don't have hope. You might have hope for a day. You might have hope for a week. You might have hope for 3 months. But when you see your bank account hit 0, then what? Then what do you do? So you got to have hope. Number 2, a reactive narrative of your past actually stunts your future. What do I mean by that? What I mean is more often than not, our old beliefs, our old stories, they start to come up and they start to get in the way of our future self and who we want to be, because we start to go back into those reactive triggers. Our story is constantly playing. I always talk about neuroscience and the 0 to 7 years old and how that is where a lot of our stories are created in our head and we don't even know it. Next thing you know, you're 40 years old like me, and you're wondering why you interact your kids this way, why your business is going this way, why your career is going a certain way, why you're always so reactive. Well, the reason is it's all these past stories, but you never even notice them. And so this reactive narrative, maybe even saying, I'm not good enough, I probably won't make it, I'm not going to be the best in whatever I am, I'll never be able to do that. These ideas, these reactive narratives are stunting your future growth. So put them away. Number 3, being unaware creates an environment of randomness. I always say people that walk in a world of randomness get mediocre results. Show me your schedule and I'll show you results. So if you're not even aware of it, then how can you create that change, right? A lot of that goes into the reactive, those reactive narrative. A lot of folks, unfortunately, they don't even know that they're doing these things. They don't have maybe a sounding board. They don't have a coach. Or they just don't care. They're actually just so oblivious. They don't care, or maybe they live in a place or a work that people don't want to give them feedback, or they're just negative, or no one cares to even give them feedback. And if the feedback they get, they do nothing with. So being unaware is going to create a random environment. Get out of that, create that awareness. Number 4, being disconnected with your future self leads to myopic decisions. So when we think of myopic, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, it means, right? If you have myopia in your eye, then I'm reading somebody's comment on TikTok right now. This is amazing. In my opinion, all mindset training is dumb. I bet. Show me your schedule and I'll show you your results. That's all I can say. I'm all about results. So do whatever makes you happy. You know, if you're getting amazing results, then keep doing it. Yeah, you're right. Mindset training's stupid. If you get those results, then keep it up. I don't care. So that's awesome. So what I was saying, being disconnected, right? Being myopic, having myopia actually means you're short-sighted, right? And so when you're disconnected with your future self or your future vision, and you don't have really the clarity of that, you end up just making short-term moves because your long-term goal is not focused. And so because of that, you cut corners, or you're not aligned with what you actually really, really want. And so you just don't do it. You're making short-term gains that might at least serve you in the moment, but they're not going to get you to where you really want to go. So have that idea, have that future self, be in alignment with that, and then always be asking yourself, work backwards and ask yourself, is the decision I'm making right now connected with that future self? Otherwise, you might you get that shiny object syndrome, which happens to a lot of the entrepreneurs and the people that I work with, and even including myself, you know? And so that's why I have to have coaches kind of dial me back in, right? Otherwise, I make those mistakes. Number 5, it kind of ties in with this: urgent battles and small goals are going to leave you stuck. So again, we are very reactive to a lot of these urgency things that we believe are urgent. Like, I got to get this done. I got to hurry. This is so important. And is it really? Is it really urgent? Does it have to be done? If so, then just get it done. But a lot of times we make things that are like super urgent, and it just ends up being busy work. And it gets us nowhere. We feel extremely busy, but then when we look back at the end of the day, like, what action did I take? How far did I go? You didn't get anywhere. And you're wondering why that happened. Well, that's why. Because you're tied into this urgency, and you're going to have to really analyze. And there's a great book by Craig Ballantyne, if you want to check it out. And he actually has like 4 different quadrants showing how you can tally up like what is urgent and necessary versus what is urgent and not necessary. And then using that quadrant, you can probably figure out. I personally don't use it. I think it's a great tool. I just kind of have my own methods into my own madness. But you can do whatever you like. So that's my recommendation. And he gets a lot of good results. So I'm all about, Craig, and I think he does really, really well. I know a lot of people that like him. So check out Craig Ballantyne. And I think his book is called, I have it here somewhere, something about schedule. So if anybody knows, we're live. So if anybody knows, shout out that book, and I'll announce it. And then small time goals, right? Small goals can leave you stuck, right? Because you might achieve some of these goals that might be like really, really easy, but then you're not getting anywhere, because small goals are easy. But if you have something that will drive you, like the Nobel Peace Prize, like that'll drive you forever, right? You'll never get tired of chasing that goal. But some of these easy, again, short-term goals, if they're really short, they're not going to motivate you to get over the tough times, right? It's not going to motivate you to get out of bed at 4 a.m. You're not going to be motivated. You're like, I can push that off till tomorrow, right? All right, so that's number 5. Last 2, guys, and we'll wrap it up. Number 6, not being in the arena, you're failing by default, right? Most people love to sit on the sidelines and just watch from afar. They love to just watch from afar, and they love to criticize. They love to critique. Many people jump on my lives and love to critique, which is cool. I don't mind. It's all love for me. But many people, right, are sitting on the sidelines watching, and they're too scared to take action because of their own fears, their own limiting beliefs, the idea maybe that it's not perfect, right? That imposter syndrome. And they're sitting on the sidelines waiting, and they're not in the arena playing the game. You got to be playing the game. You got to be off the sidelines. You got to be putting numbers on the board and not just watching the scoreboard from the stands. You're not going to get anywhere. All right. And number 7, success, believe it or not, is actually often a catalyst for failure. Whoa. What? Yeah, success can be a catalyst for failure, because if you get something too easy, and I've talked about this before, right? Like, what have you ever learned from success? Nothing. When you are successful, like, it just came too easy. You didn't learn anything. It's failure is when you learn all this growth, you gain all this wisdom, you get through a tough event and you become a better person. You expand. That expansion creates knowledge that you can actually pass down to others or go off and create other things. But when it's super successful, it can actually negate and be, it could actually cause more failure in the long run. Seems kind of crazy, right? So again, I'm going to go over these 7, right? These top 7 ways that the top 7 things to avoid, to actually conquer and get to your goals and get to your future self. Number 1 was, we said, without any hope, there's no future self. That was number 1. Number 2, a reactive narrative of your past is going to stunt your future, right? Number 3, being unaware is going to create randomness. It creates a random environment. And then number 4, being disconnected from your future self leads to myopic or short-term decisions, which is going to give you short-term results. Number 5, urgent battles and small goals are going to leave you stuck. And then number 6, not being in the arena, not actually playing the game, you're automatically failing. You got to be taking messy action instead of just sitting on the sidelines. Take messy action, even if it's imperfect. And then the last one, number 7, is success can actually be a catalyst for failure. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Just a quick Mindset and Motivation Monday that I do for my podcast, as well as I like to go live and connect with folks on TikTok, as well as all the other mainstream channels, YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I hope this was helpful. Leave a review so I can donate to some of the great organizations that I'm a part of, and I will check you out later on in the week, but I'll even check you out next week. This week's we got an amazing podcast that's going to drop on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, Mastering Diabetes. And so we're going to get into that with some of the good folks who wrote that book. Really blew my mind. I think it's going to blow a lot of other people's mind. I'm really excited to share that. So that's it for this episode. I can't wait to connect with everybody later on in the week. And I hope, some of the interviews that I just did this week are going to be awesome, and you get a lot out of it. I'm out.